Therefore, since we have such a hope, we are very bold.
Steve Teel, Very Bold Radio and Podcast. I'm so excited to meet Gigi, and I'm going to say this wrong because I'm in South Texas, so I'm saying it right. Orsillo. I want to say but I want to say Orsillo because I'm in South Texas. So
right.
Gigi Orsillo, it's so great to meet you, and excited about talking about running the bases with you, your new movie, and you have tons of movies going on. And tons of projects, but just congratulations on that. Congratulations on the recognition that you're getting for running the bases and family camp and all the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much. God is so good. I'm very thankful and feel very blessed.
God is so good. All right. I want to start by saying this. You and I have something in common. We have a few things in common. Yeah, we do. I graduated from Oral Roberts University.
Did you?
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
Golden Eagles.
Golden Eagles. Yeah. I think we were still, this is how long ago it was. We were the Titans.
The Titans.
Yes.
All right. You're dating yourself now.
That's okay. It's pretty obvious. It's okay.
I love it. I love it. Well, that's awesome. I loved my time at ORU.
Did you?
I did.
Okay, yeah. And another thing we have in common, you graduated summa cum laude. And how about that? How about you? And I just looked up how to pronounce summa cum laude. All right. So Gigi, you are a smart woman.
I think that's funny that that's in my bio, but there it is.
I mean, I did a little digging. That might have been on IMDb. I don't know. I did a little digging. It's out there somewhere. I found it. So funny. You are one smart person, but a very talented actress. Excellent job, not just in running the bases. I mean, now I will say this about running the bases. I did laugh and I did cry.
Did you?
And I did. Yeah, I did. And for me, it was a very emotional movie. And just the performances were awesome. And I just thought you were excellent.
Thank you.
Just great job on that. Talk to us just about the movie and what it is to you and why it's important.
Well, it was such a joy to be on this film. One of the things that I loved about it, first of all, everybody involved was just excellent in everything that they did. I mean, working alongside Brett Varvel and Cam Arnett and Todd Terry and these amazing actors. It's like so fun to get to play on set with people that are just so good, you know?
Yeah.
But one thing that I loved about this film is that the directors were very intent on having strong female characters. They wanted the Mama D character to be a strong woman. And she kind of takes my character under her wing as a younger, a teenager. Yeah. And she gets a little bit of her fire from Mama D. And so they wanted her to portray the fact that there are these wives and mothers out there who are making a difference in their families, in their spouses' callings, in the way that they pray them through things, and they stand up with them and they remind them of the truth. And so they were so adamant about wanting that. And so I was just like, well, all right, I'm excited about that, So yeah, I love that I got to do that on camera.
Yeah, you nailed that too. I thought the relationship with you and Brett or Luke, I thought it was just really, there was some really felt like just natural chemistry, which I imagine, as an actress is not always just there. But both of you, go ahead.
Well, I think, like I said, when you're working with somebody who's really good like that, you make each other better. And so we even would go through the dialogue and go, does this sound right? How can we make this stronger? Or, if he would do something in a scene, then I would give him something back to work with. And it's just so fun to get to do that for another actor and for them to get to do it to you,
Yeah. So that means the directors are also allowing you a little bit of freedom to.
Yes. Which is also a gift, to be trusted like that.
Yeah. Can you
So
give us an example? And I know you had to film this a while ago, but from Running the Bases, where you and Brett were going through something and you're like, hey, what about doing it this way? Or he said, what about doing it that way, or saying a little bit different? Can you remember an example for us?
definitely in that kitchen. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but there's
Yeah,
a
no, I
scene in
saw
the
it.
kitchen. There's a scene in the kitchen where he basically says, I can't do this anymore. And she's like, excuse me? Yeah. And she just calls him out. And that scene originally was not she was not nearly as bold. Um,
Oh,
and so we kind of worked through that and said, like, what would I say to you if I wanted you to know, like, no, you're going to do this. And so we worked through that dialogue, and all of his stuff that just came out. So yeah, it's just kind of you kind of work through a scene if you have time, and sometimes you work through it beforehand so that you can really be prepared on set. And we did do that for several of those scenes, but yeah.
yeah, I thought you really captured that. I'm so glad you did that. I'm so glad you brought more boldness to it. Just when I think about, that husband-wife relationship of encouraging one another when the other one needs that encouragement, I thought you struck that just right. So that was
Well,
awesome. I'm
thanks.
glad. Yeah, well
Yeah.
done. Well done. All right. I want to remind people. So Running the Bases is available right now for rent and stream on Amazon Prime Video, iTunes, Spectrum, DVD, Blu-ray, all of that, and will be available in Walmart, Target, Best Buy, Amazon. That's coming February 21st. And
Yeah.
yeah, exciting times. And you were just saying to me off camera, off microphone, that there's some recognition, some awards that are coming up real soon. And it's so
Yes.
exciting that Running the Bases has been, recognized. Tell us about that.
They've been nominated for several different film festivals this weekend. Currently, when this is getting recorded, we're
Right.
going to the Movie Guide Awards, which will play, I think, Up TV February 26th. So
Okay.
Brett is nominated for his performance, and as he should be, he's amazing in this film. And then nominated for several awards, like the Faith and Freedom Award. This film deals a lot with standing up for your faith and not bending in the face of persecution, and not just saying, okay, I'll just be quiet because people tell you to be quiet.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's real exciting. And how about you? I mean, what's going on with you? You should have been nominated for this. I promise you that.
Oh, you're
So
so kind. Well, we're so excited for Brett. And I think it's fun because even if you're not nominated individually, if a film is nominated as a whole, like, all of us are part of that.
right. Oh,
The
for sure.
cast, the crew, the craft service, the PA, like, everybody on set is important, and makes it the experience that you get to experience, and it makes it the movie that you get to see. So yeah, I feel just so giddy to be a part of it all. Family Camp and Running the Bases are nominated. So yeah, we'll just go celebrate and be so excited that these films that have God written all over them,
Yeah.
people are actually seeing them and loving them and being excited to tell other people about them. So
Well, talk to me about your faith and the importance of you getting to portray that faith in in faith-based movies and biblical messages, because I feel like, you are a very talented actress. I even found one of your film reels on YouTube. I was like, well, I laughed during that and I cried during that too. I mean, it was really excellent. So, but I feel like, these directors, they could find somebody that they feel like, oh, they're just right. They may not be a Christian, but they're just right for this role. But you have this excellent craft and skill to it. But tell me about the importance of, getting your faith across in these messages, in these movies.
Yeah, well, as a Christian and an actress, it is so amazingly fun to get to work on a set that is glorifying the Lord. Because time is valuable, and I get to spend my time making something that matters. And so when you come up against something on set and you're like, and something isn't working out right, it's like, we have a greater purpose than just making a movie. Right. And so there's kingdom eyes that you get to see through when you come up against something. And just for me, being a mom and having,
Yeah.
limited time to get to go and do these film projects, I want to make sure that it's something that I am excited about being a part of. And I know that each one of these films also gives me an opportunity to do things like this, where I get to talk to people about my faith. I get to encourage people, especially in these last two films, people have reached out to me just to say, like, I want to be a stronger wife, and I want to be more supportive. And or for
Wow.
family camp, I'm struggling. I have no voice in my marriage.
Mm.
And so it's funny because I'm like, well, that's just a character, but God gives me a platform to get to minister to these people, usually, mostly women, to say, like, how can I pray for you? How can I, point you in a direction that is in the direction of the Lord? So I just find every little piece of it so fun, that,
Yeah.
getting to be on set, and then getting to have the movie come out, and then getting to promote it, and getting to talk to people about the film and my faith. And it's just, it's such a sweet gift that I get to live. So
Yeah, I love that, Gigi. All right, well, let's back up. I've got a question about, I think about, I've worked on church staff various times, various ways. And I think, like, people think about working in a church staff, like, oh, it's a Christian setting, it's this, that, like, oh, that's
yeah,
great. But then, you're in there and it's like personalities, and we're
right,
flawed people. So I kind of
yeah,
imagine the same sort of like civilian sort of standpoint, thinking about movies like, oh, that's great, you're working with Christians, but I'm sure there's different personalities, different opinions. You have a lot of artists that have an idea of what this should be like. So how do you kind of navigate that?
well, I think on a film set, there's a lot on the line, especially because you have to get things done in a certain time, because you have that
Yeah.
day to shoot at that location, or and okay, and now it's raining, and people
Yeah.
get frustrated, and people get stressed, and people get, I mean, that's just being humans, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so I think, though, like I said, like, having that kingdom purpose really does help that. And like you said, it's not just a bunch of Christians working on a Christian movie. I mean, there are plenty of unbelievers.
Mm,
And I really do want every day to be my mission field. And
yes.
I get like 30 days with these people sometimes. And so I get to show them kindness. I get to be the hands and feet of Jesus to them. And I don't, they may come into a movie thinking Christians are crazy and Christians are
Right.
judgmental. And,
Right.
oh, all these people are going to be looking at me because I live this certain lifestyle, and they're going to all be judging me. And then to get to kind of change their mind about
Yeah.
who Christians are, just through living your life and being good people to them, is really fun. It's really fun.
That's
So
fantastic. Yeah. That's great. All right. Now, I know in 2023, according to one of your bios, I mean, you have a ton of projects going on. I mean, a ton. That's what I'm reading. Maybe you don't know yet.
yes,
Maybe your agent's already signed you on and you don't know, but rom-com, it sounds like some
yeah.
Christmas movies and a series. So I've got a question about, how do you, bless you and your husband and your daughters, how do you find that balance of, you're gone for 30 days at a time? How does that work? Obviously, this is kind of a family calling to this ministry,
Yeah.
or otherwise I can't imagine it working.
Well, those longer stints are definitely far between. That's when you're shooting like a lead or a very supporting role in the feature. A lot of them, are like a couple days here and a week here. And I've shot 2 films here in my home state of Colorado,
Oh,
because
nice.
I have this group that does films for Up TV that shoots here. I'm like, thank you, Lord, this is great.
Right.
So, and it is just going, like I said, is this worth it? Is this worth
Mm,
my time? And being, selective on what I say yes and what I say no to. And then also, like, I want my girls to always know that their things are the most important. So it's like, if my daughter's going to be in a play, that is written on my schedule in ink,
yeah.
and if there's a film that comes along, then I say, I got to be home for 2 days in the middle of April,
I love it.
so they always come first. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but it is a juggling act, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for
To get
sure. I
everybody
bet.
where they need to be, make sure everybody feels loved. And so, and then, but that another part of that is getting to take them on set with me, and so that they can see that it's not just making a movie, that it is a mission field, that it is, these are real people and real relationships and real friendships. And, you know, because they'll see me, you know, telling a story about somebody, and I want them to know, oh yeah, I met her on set. She's so funny, you know? And so I want them to get to be a part of it as much as possible. So that's always a gift when they get to come to set.
That's really cool. And did I read that some of them are getting the acting bug themselves?
Yes.
And how do you feel about that? Like, you know how hard it is, even though you're doing, tell us about that.
My oldest is really into musical theater, so that's a little bit different. They all love doing film work. One of my youngest has done 2 little films with me. And yeah, I think I just kind of have said, I've definitely not pushed it, but I haven't said no. But it takes a lot to be a child actor. You know, I see these kids that I work with, and you have to really love it and really want it, but as a kid for yourself. It takes a lot to do all these auditions and to, you know, I mean, it's a lot to do self-tapes of all the auditions that you have to do and then go, oh, I didn't get it. But I worked so hard. And so, and then the parental involvement of getting them to set and being on set and taking care of everything and making sure that they have all their lines. And it's a lot. So I've kind of just like, let it drip in. Like,
that's good.
We're just gonna stick our feet in the water. So
yeah, that's good. All right, I didn't realize, I'm looking at the clock now, and I feel like we've kind of pushed up against, we need to let you go. But let me ask you one last question. You were talking about these scripts that you get, and you know, you have to make choices about which one, kind of almost like God is saying, yeah, this is the one to go for, or whatever. What was it about running the bases that, you know, really drew you in? Did you know right away, or did you have to read the script a couple of times? How did that work?
Yeah, I had heard about the project because Cam Arnett was connected to it. And I said, if Cam Arnett is connected to it, I bet it's pretty good. So I reached out to them and I said, hey, are you guys casting? And they said, no, we're not, you know, we're just still even looking for funding. And I said, okay, well, here's my reel, you know, I've heard it's a great project. And they sent me the script and I was like, oh, I really want to be a part of this, you know?
Wow.
When you read strongly written characters, sometimes you just go, oh, I really want to be a part of this, you know?
Yeah.
And it's fun when you read a script and you do laugh out loud or you are moved. It's like you want to fight to be a part of it. And so that was how running the bases was. I sent in, I'm like, I'll send you tape of whatever scene you want to see. I'll do, you know. And then I ended up meeting them at one of the film conferences that we were at, and they didn't have funding. They didn't have anything yet. And it was funny because my character is very tomboyish, and we all went to Topgolf.
I love it.
And I've been known to be able to swing a golf club. And so they saw me swing golf club and they said, if you can swing a golf club like that, I think you could be our Jessica. And so then they offered me the role right there, which was so funny because it was like 2 years before we even shot.
What?
Isn't that a funny story?
That is hilarious. Oh my gosh. And that was the difference. I mean,
there was.
Yeah. Okay. Time out. You're athletic too. Like, you're academically super strong.
Oh,
you're
stop.
an actress. Oh, stop. And you're an athlete too. What the heck? How'd that happen? Give me an extra minute. Tell me how that happened. What?
Well, as a kid, I played soccer. I cheered, I ran track. And then, I just, you know, always loved theater and did that. And then, you know,
you could do it all. You're an achiever.
I don't know how I got my smarts. I think I just always wanted to do my best. And so I think it was more just gumption and working hard than it was actually being super brave.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I think people who are very intelligent can achieve what you did with summa cum laude, if I'm even saying that right. I think regular smart people, they're not getting that. So way to go, Gigi. And that's crazy on the Topgolf. And it's really says a lot about the film that you wanted it, like you wanted it bad. You really felt like you needed to be a part of this. That's amazing. All right. I just want to remind people as we try to finish off this interview, obviously having a fun time with Gigi Orsillo, and the movie is Running the Bases. I really did enjoy it. I did. I laughed. I cried. There was a certain part in the movie where I was just like, oh man, I can't take another gut punch. Like, are you kidding me? And obviously I don't want to give away different scenes of the movie, but I'm like, oh my gosh, no, why did this happen? No. So I was very emotionally involved in it. And there was another part in the movie where I was just like, oh, please, I need this character to be alive. Please do not do what I think you're about to do. And the screenwriters came through, the directors came through, but really excellent work running the bases. And Gigi Orsillo, really excellent performance. I'm looking forward to watching you in some of these movies coming up. I want to go back and find your spy movie.
Sleeper Agent.
yeah, that looks kind of fun, and I want to see that one too. So you are doing so many things, and thank you for doing it for the kingdom, and thank you for doing it for Jesus. Thank you for seeing it as a mission field and making a difference in a lot of people's lives, like on set and then on screen. So just thank you, Gigi.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Have a great trip. Really appreciate you, and looking forward to many more great things.
Thank you.
Therefore, since we have such a hope, we are very bold.